You know that feeling. It's
Thank
not like
you.
a disaster, but just,
Yeah.
those little everyday things that just grate on you.
Oh, yeah. Like when you're in line, maybe you're already tired and the person ahead is paying for something tiny with the mountain of pennies.
Exactly. Or you finally sit down to relax, and then you hear it. Drip, 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 somewhere. That faint, relentless sound.
It finds you. Or the online version, trying to find a simple customer service number on a website, and it feels like they've designed it specifically to prevent you from talking to a human.
Yes. It's an endless maze of FAQs.
Mm-hmm.
These aren't the big life crises, are they? They're the small stuff, the constant little frictions.
The 1,000 paper cuts idea, individually tiny, but they add up. They really pile up over the day.
Absolutely, and that's what we're diving into here. We've gathered a whole load of material research, articles, real stories to unpack these daily frustrations.
Trying to figure out why these little things bug us so much, disproportionately sometimes.
Right, and maybe more importantly, what can we actually do about them? So you can, feel a bit less overwhelmed and more in charge when they happen.
Okay, so let's get into it. What makes something a petty annoyance, according to these sources? It's definitely not like losing your job or, a major accident.
No, it's about irritation without real danger. Like that buzzing fly example drives you nuts, but it's not actually going to harm you.
Right. And a big part of it seems to be that feeling of it being external, something you just can't control.
Like being stuck in traffic because of roadworks. You can't speed them up. You can't wish the traffic away. You're just stuck.
Or maybe a friend wears a really strong perfume you can't stand. Or they have a cat and you're allergic.
Yeah, you feel the discomfort, but you can't really demand a change, can you? You just have to manage your reaction.
And they're often unpredictable, too. You can mentally prepare for a tough meeting, but you can't predict getting stuck behind the world's slowest driver 5 minutes before you need to be somewhere.
You don't know how long it will last. That adds to it.
Context is huge, too, isn't it? If you've slept badly, you're hungry, running late, that tiny delay feels like a personal attack.
Oh, totally. Much worse than on a lazy Saturday morning. Your internal state just dials up the volume on the external annoyance.
Yeah, it magnifies everything. And the sources even mention culture, like not knowing the unwritten rules in a new place can cause accidental annoyance.
And technology? Oh man, the software updates. Just when you get used to where everything is, boom, it all moves.
It's meant to be an improvement, right? But in that moment, it just feels like someone deliberately messed up your workflow. Frustrating.
It feels like stolen efficiency. And then there are the sort of biological things, like the gag reflex. It's protective, sure, but the trigger, maybe a weird food texture, is just purely annoying physically.
Or bad smells. Again, vital for detecting danger, like spoiled food, but just encountering a really foul odor is, well, it's viscerally unpleasant. Annoying doesn't quite cover it sometimes.
So it's this massive range of small, external, often unavoidable irritations. Okay, so that's the what. But why? Why do these minor things trigger such big reactions sometimes?
The psychology. This is where it gets really interesting. A lot of the material points to cumulative stress. Like we said, the paper cuts.
Each little annoyance adds a tiny bit more stress.
Exactly. Until your stress bucket is basically full. And then one more tiny thing, the junk mail, spilling your coffee makes it overflow. That's the classic last straw.
That makes so much sense. Your capacity is just gone at that point.
Precisely. And your mood is a massive amplifier. If you're already feeling stressed or tired or anxious, your tolerance for any further annoyance just plummets. You've got less bandwidth to deal with it calmly.
And maybe if you haven't really developed solid coping skills, that frustration just kind of explodes because you don't know what else to do with it.
That can definitely happen. Plus, personality might play a role. Some research suggests people higher in neuroticism might just feel negative things, including annoyances, more intensely.
And the environment itself. Loads of noise, crowds, feeling rushed that can put you on edge anyway, making you more likely to snap at something small.
Right. And this is where, according to the sources, understanding emotional intelligence EI becomes really useful.
Okay, emotional intelligence, tell us more.
Well, researchers like Solovey and Mayer define it as essentially being aware of your own emotions and other people's, and using that awareness to manage your thoughts and behavior.
So it's not just feeling annoyed, it's knowing you're feeling annoyed.
Yeah.
Recognizing it.
Exactly. That's the crucial first step highlighted everywhere. Just noticing, okay, annoyance is happening right now, and maybe asking why, because that car cut me off, and maybe also, and I'm feeling anxious because I'm running late.
So you perceive the feeling.
which leads to understanding, okay, being cut off makes me feel disrespected, and running late triggers my anxiety about punctuality. And once you understand why you feel that way,
Then you can start to manage it,
yeah,
regulate it.
precisely. You can't really steer a ship if you don't know which way the wind is blowing, right? You need to acknowledge the feeling first. Naming it gives you power over it.
It stops being this overwhelming wave and becomes something you can actually look at.
Right. And what's really fun is looking at how people do react, sometimes quite creatively, against these things they can't control. The sources had some great examples of what one author called little weapons or acts of resistance.
Oh, I loved this part. It's like tiny acts of rebellion against the absurdity of it all. Like the guy, Seth Shepsel, who insists on ordering a medium coffee at Starbucks.
Knowing full well they call it a grande, he just refuses to play their word game. It's a small private victory.
It is. Or Meg Daniel, who apparently makes it a point to just keep pressing 0 on automated phone menus until she gets a real person.
Her logic being, why should she have to deal with the computer just because they want to save money? I get that.
Me too. And Andrew Kirk, he sends back all those blank subscription cards from magazines in their own prepaid envelopes.
Making them pay postage for nothing? That's dedication.
And he'd order a small pizza, knowing they only start at medium, just to make a point about the language games. It's all about reclaiming a tiny bit of control, isn't it?
It seems so. And then there was Wesley Williams, the undisputed champion of junk mail revenge.
Oh yeah, his year-long campaign, when not at this address, didn't work.
Because it said, or current resident.
Right. So he started stuffing their postage-paid reply envelopes with heavy stuff, bits of magazines, paper, even metal strips.
Knowing they'd have to pay extra postage based on the weight. And apparently his junk mail significantly decreased afterwards.
Brilliant. That private satisfaction of making the annoyance cost the annoyer something.
And it crosses into tech, too. Mitch Altman's TV Be Gone keychain letting you turn off those blaring TVs in public spaces.
His point being, you shouldn't be forced to watch or listen everywhere you go.
And back in the day, you had websites like Bugmanut sharing logins to bypass annoying website registrations, or people on forums signing up spammers for loads of other spam lists.
These are all kind of mischievous, maybe, but they point to something important the research mentions. These little acts give people a sense of agency, a feeling of pushing back, however small.
It stops you feeling like just a passive victim of the irritation. And sometimes it gets organized, like those subtle work slowdowns or the symbolic protests in Poland wearing hats backward, putting TVs in the window during the state news.
It shows that even against big, overwhelming systems, people find these little ways to exert some control.
Which leads us nicely into maybe the most powerful way to deal with annoyance, according to all this material. Focusing not on changing the external thing, but on managing your internal response.
Right. This is where the real work happens, isn't it? Those little weapons are satisfying, but they don't change how we feel inside.
Exactly. The power is in self-management. It's what ancient philosophy and modern psychology agree on. Know what's in your control and what isn't.
So that slow driver, the road works, the fly, you can't just wave a magic wand.
Nope. But you can control your breathing. Taking a few deep breaths can literally interrupt your body's stress response. It's simple, but it works.
Perspective is another big one. Asking yourself, like one source suggested, will this matter in a week, a month, a year?
Usually the answer is no. It helps shrink the annoyance down to size, remembering life's too short to treat every little thing like a major crisis.
And trying not to take it personally? That driver isn't trying to ruin your day. They might be lost or old or just having a bad day themselves. Depersonalizing it helps.
Building that emotional awareness is key. Actually writing down your triggers, what specific things always get to you, can be incredibly insightful.
And expanding your vocabulary beyond just annoyed. Am I frustrated? Impatient? Feeling powerless? Anxious? Being more specific helps you understand it better.
Reflection is good too. Maybe journaling or just taking a moment at night to think. What annoyed me today? How did I react? What could I do differently?
And noticing the physical signs, early jaw clenching, shoulders tensing up, that gives you a chance to step back before you react in a way you'll regret.
Talking it out can help release the pressure, like letting air out of a balloon. But, watch out for just complaining endlessly, which kind of keeps you stuck in it.
Right. And being specific in how you talk to yourself, not, I feel like this is unfair, but I feel angry, the emotion, because I think this is unfair, the thought. Separating them gives you clarity.
Mindfulness comes up a lot too. Just pausing, breathing, noticing the feeling without judging it or getting swept away by it.
Healthy distractions can break the cycle too, right? Going for a walk, doing something creative, listening to music, exercising.
Oh, definitely. Regular exercise is highlighted as a really powerful way to manage overall stress and mood, making you generally less reactive.
There's also some interesting stuff about frustration during learning. That phase where you know enough to realize how much you don't know.
Sure.
That's peak annoyance territory.
Absolutely. And the key takeaway there seemed to be accepting that frustration is just part of learning something new. It's okay to be bad at it for a while.
Yeah, be okay with temporarily sucking, as one source put it. Focus on the effort, the practice time, not just the immediate results.
And celebrate the small wins along the way. That helps build momentum.
Your social circle matters too. Spending time with people who handle frustration well can be really helpful. Role models.
And maybe limiting time with people who consistently, mess with your head or just drain your emotional energy.
Now, it's important, isn't it, to draw a line between these everyday annoyances and something more serious?
Yes, definitely. The sources are clear. If you feel annoyed constantly or extremely intensely, and it's really impacting your life, your work, your relationships, it might be more than just everyday friction.
It could signal underlying issues like chronic stress, anxiety, depression.
Or even physical things, lack of sleep, blood sugar problems, hormonal imbalances like PMS or PMDD.
And in some cases, especially with kids or older adults, really high irritability could point towards other medical conditions, or even things like dementia or behavioral disorders.
So if that level of overwhelming, disruptive annoyance sounds familiar, the advice is pretty clear. Seek professional help. Therapies like CBT or DBT can offer really effective tools.
Okay, and one final really crucial point that came up. The difference between unavoidable, petty annoyances and problems we can actually fix. Remember that VW microbus story?
Oh yeah, the oil leak starts small, annoying. They ignored it.
It just became background noise, something they stopped noticing. But the problem didn't vanish.
Nope. It got worse and worse until the engine finally seized. Big problem.
Such a powerful metaphor. Don't let fixable issues become background annoyances you just try to cope with. Address the things you can change.
Whether it's a missing button on your coat, a habit that's draining you, or a difficult conversation you keep putting off, fix what you can fix.
Know the difference between acceptance for things you can't change and taking action on things you can.
Exactly. Acceptance isn't passive tolerance for everything.
So quite a journey through the land of annoyance. We've seen how common it is, how easily it can feel overwhelming.
But also that we have more tools than we might realize. Not always to stop the annoyance from happening, but to change how we respond to it internally.
From those sometimes funny little weapons of resistance to quite profound psychological techniques, perspective, awareness, mindfulness.
Yeah, it's really about building resilience, changing our relationship with life's inevitable friction so it doesn't knock us off course so easily. Understanding the why is the start, then choosing how to manage the how, our reaction.
Okay, so here's something to think about, drawing from all this. If those tiny acts of resistance we talked about, ordering the medium coffee, turning off the TV, give us that little hit of satisfaction, that feeling of regaining control, what does that suggest about our bigger, collective human desire for agency in a world that often feels unpredictable and out of control?
And maybe more personally, next time you feel that prickle of annoyance, what if you just paused for a second? Instead of just labeling it annoyed, try to name the specific feeling underneath. Is it frustration, impatience, feeling powerless? Could simply naming it more precisely be your first small step towards regaining a sense of control right there in that moment? Something to watch for.